All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It is Monday, July 17th. Markets are off to a mixed start. Looking at the S&P, currently down 0.05, 0.06%. The NASDAQ currently up by 0.17%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average currently down by 0.2%. And the Russell 2000 right now is down by 0.05. So mixed market so far. We are seeing a little bit more bullishness in the Qs options at the moment, trading at 379.65. There's quite a bit of 380 calls, 9,000 of those, 9,400 versus 6,600 calls or 6,600 puts. So looking more likely to be bullish above 380 today. And then if you are taking the bear side of the trade, you might expect us to come down at 378, and then 377 will be the marks that I would look for in order to turn us bearish. But right now, looks like we're starting more bullish. We're especially seeing Tesla up almost at $290, 287.69 at the very peak in the pre-market, currently trading at 286.38. So pretty good start to Tesla. I think this is about 2% from Friday's close at 281, and they're going to have earnings this week, scheduled I think for Wednesday. So definitely going to be a volatile one to watch this week. But yeah, let me get rid of this customized grid. There we go. That looks better. And let's see if we can find any pivots. Looks like Amazon is coming down right before the bell, 134.58. Meta is trading pretty low at 307.50, actually down in the pre-market. Microsoft's about flat, up about $1. Netflix is up from its lows, closed at 442, currently at 445. Google doing pretty well, getting pretty close to Friday's highs at 127. Tesla, again, trading at 286, pretty close to that 290 mark. And Apple looks like the leader today at 191.90 right now. So probably going to watch Apple. Tesla, I think, would be the two big names to watch today. Probably going to be lots of volume, especially with Apple going up as quickly as it has in the pre-market. And for Tesla trading at 290, up 2%, should give it some move. All right. Markets are open. Meta is the only one that's down today, down 0.6%. Tesla trading at 286.50 and coming down a little bit, but not really moving too much. And Apple just bursting higher first thing this morning, which just following that momentum on that trade. The 195 calls right now are going for 68 cents for this Friday's expiration. Not too bad. Let's see. We'll add them to the watch list. Again, trading for 69 cents right now. $67, pulling back from 192.45. Let's see where the volume is going into. There's actually a decent amount of volume going into the 192.5s. And that volume actually drops at the 195. Usually you'd see the other way around, where you'd see like 7,000 for the 195s and only 4,000 for the 192.5s, but they're actually going at the money, which is good to accelerate that move to the upside. And these are still trading for 70 cents right now. $0.75, 76 cents. So yeah, they're definitely climbing with this rise up to almost 193 first thing. Tesla's trading for 288. Let's see if they're going at the money here too. 2,900 for the 290 calls. Drops down to 978 for the 292.5. So that could be a concern for the bulls if it pivots at 290. The 295 isn't that popular either, only 1,800. So I think we might end up having a pivot trade for Tesla at 290 here. All right, let's check. Ooh, the premiums are really high with this week's earnings report. You're going down to the 265 in order to get it under 300. So you're definitely paying a high premium for earnings this week. Currently going for 376 for the 270 puts expiring this Friday. Pretty good. It was at 270 just a couple of days ago too. Oh, I don't have Nvidia on here. Nvidia's at 460 today. That one had a really steep drop after it hit 480. So I'm thinking the same thing could maybe happen for Tesla here. I don't know if we'll have that strong of a pullback, but this one is up 3% today for Tesla. All right. Now they're going for 360, so they're getting cheaper. All right. Got that trade. $360. They're going for $340 now. Now it's trading at $291 and change, so breaking past that 290 level. Let's see if they're buying the 292 yet. Still not heavy on the volume, only 1/3 of the volume versus the 290. And then the 295 has 3,600 in volume, so about half of the 290. And then people are going after the 300 pretty decently. 14,000 in volume there. Those are going for $900 though. That's pretty nutty that somebody would pay $900 for 300. But again, earnings is this week. Expect a lot of volatility for Tesla. Good morning, Daniel. Hi, Peter. looks like Amazon's getting past that 135 mark too. So overall, like I said, bullish day for Qs. NASDAQ is doing pretty well above 380, which is where we expected it to continue to rise. Looking at the volume, much higher for the calls at 380 versus the puts, about twice as much, and about 3 times as much as 381. So very bullish options market this morning. All right, Tesla pulling back just a tad at 291, down from 292.33. Meta's trading at 308 and breaking even for the day. So everything in the big tech names is in the green now. And Apple is trading at 193.50, so a huge gain there. Those contracts went from 70 when we were looking at them to 100 now. All right, small pullback for a couple names. Amazon right at 135. Tesla down to 290.3. Small pullback here. So we'll see if this is a reversal or if this just keeps on going up. It's a pretty decent sized candle. Let's see, Q's now trading at 380.65, so still well above that 380 level to keep us going bullish. Mostly, I think, being led by Apple, up 1.2% today. All right. Let's check Amazon's chain. Both open interest volume dropped very heavily after 135. Liking that. And there's really not any volume or open interest. Or I guess there's no open interest until you're at 140 compared to the 135. So could be a decent pivot here as well. Let's see where the puts stack up. Puts aren't nearly as popular. Let's see, only 1,400 at the 135 strike price versus 13,000 in volume for the calls. And you don't have any volume until the next volume would be at 133 with 1600. Looks like Tesla just caught some support at 290. Trying to head higher to that high at 292. What were these contracts going for first thing this morning? We're looking at the 1 minute chart for the options. They were at 440 at their peak when Tesla was down at 286. So we need about a $3, $4 drop to get these over maybe to like 430. Amazon just went slightly in the red too. All right, we got Apple pulling back and now 3 names in the red. Amazon, Microsoft, Meta. Q's right under 380 now. So that was a pretty decent pivot to the downside at 381. Let's see if that's a pivot worthy. Yeah. For the volume, drops about half. And it looks like we could be bearish at 379 with the volume, about double for the puts. And 378, lots more puts, 7,000 versus only 600 calls. So if we do get, $1, $2 drop, could turn us pretty bearish. Tesla kind of hovering around 290, just went under to 289. Yeah, the 300 call is very, very popular for this week. And they're very expensive too. $780, so your break even is 307.80. We'll call it 308. 289 right now. We'll call it 290. It would have to go up 6% to break even for that trade. Sorry. Got something in my throat. which actually isn't that bad. 6% for an earnings trade on Tesla. I think that could be actually pretty decent. The implied volatility for Tesla on earnings is actually relatively low. If you're looking at the past year of trading and the previous earnings report, this is the lowest that we've seen implied volatility ahead of an earnings for Tesla this year. Let's see if I have my studies. No, I don't have IV percentile. But last I checked, it was like something along the lines of 10 or 15. So that means like 90% of the year implied volatility has been higher than it is right now. So Tesla calls not that expensive compared to what they usually are before earnings. Thinking about taking the Tesla 300 call. I would prefer the downside ahead of their earnings report. I think it makes more fundamental sense to be bearish ahead of earnings given the huge squeeze that we've seen from 150 to 300 for the past, let's see, that's 2 months. And Tesla's margins have been declining thanks to their price cuts. So I don't think that would be bullish. But stocks don't always react to fundamentals the way that they should. So still could go up even if they have a poor earnings. Amazon's pulling back to 134. Nice sharp pullback. Tesla's just kind of hovering at that 290 mark for right now. Very sharp pullback on Amazon there. Now we got 4 names in the red: Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and Meta. 4 names in the green: Tesla, Netflix, Apple, and Nvidia. Netflix is actually still doing pretty well. Still going higher at 455. I'm sure there was a lot of 450 calls that got bought this morning. Actually, not that much volume for it. 1,600 in volume. 4,200 open interest, and both of those dropped by about 60% to the 455 strike price, but it didn't pivot at 455, so can't take that one. All right, Amazon down to 133.69 with a low at 133.50. Yeah. Q's had a really sharp pullback off 381 down to 379. But bouncing on 379.35, so couldn't quite get down to the 379 mark to turn it bearish. It's about 3 times as much volume for the puts at 379. Alright, Amazon. Let's see it at 133.50 again and see if it breaks the low. We do have a decent turnaround on Q's, so that might help lift it. But right now, pretty choppy morning. We went to 381, 379, sitting at almost 380 now. And you actually have a decent amount of competition with the puts at 380 now. 27,000 and 24,000 calls. So we might just have some back and forth at the 380 level. Tesla trying to head higher again to those highs at 292. Right now at 291. Chopping around that 290 mark. Netflix finally having a pullback at 456.60 at the top. Apple pulling back off of 193.45. Those calls were trading for $1. Now they're down to 78 cents. So we expect the squeeze to keep on going on Apple, and this to just be pullback. That could actually be a decent trade, but with Q's sitting under 380, I don't know if I want to take that one. Microsoft is selling off pretty hard, down 0.8% for the day. So I wonder if Apple will follow that. Currently trading at 342.40, down from 346 this morning. So a 4-point drop, more than 1% from the start of the market. What's the dumbest play that I've ever made? Let's see. It was I think it was 10 or 20% out of the money call debit spread for Tesla, where I put down a third of my portfolio, $12,000. Ended up losing it all. It was ahead of their battery day. I thought their battery day would be really good. Back in September 2020, I think. That's when I first had gotten into options, like 6 months before that. So I was too focused on, what was it? The amount of money that I could have made was, I think, $60,000 or something crazy like that. And then I just completely neglected losing 12,000. I would say that's the dumbest play I've ever made. Most painful for sure. Looks like Tesla doesn't have any move on it. Again, just trading between 290 and trading around that 290 mark, between 289 and 292 so far. Hopefully we get a lower high here and start the downtrend, but so far it's just been chopping. See the low on this candle, previous low 288.92. So in order to mark this as a higher low, we got to get that lower low. Seeing a few names recovering. Google back in the green. Nvidia back in the green. Q's trading at that 380 level again here. So like I said, I think there's going to be some back and forth with 380 today on QQQ. Just based on the volume going into those strike prices. It's 30,000 in volume for each of the calls and the puts. Gotta love the choppiness of this market lately. Choppy, but still positive somehow. Q's is up by 0.3% so far this morning. Crazy that this is trading for $380, 52-week high, and not too far off of its all-time highs at 408, just $28. So let's see, 28 over 380, just 7% from its all-time highs is crazy. Tesla's starting to pull back again, so we might have the top. Hopefully that's way on everything else. But Q's is still trading at 380. Yep, looks like we got the same low that we did before. We'll show the price. 288.92. That low was 288.94, just 2 cents higher. Almost back to 290 again. Hopefully we don't just get this $2 range between 291 and 289. But that's kind of what the markets are looking like with Qs at 380. A little bit more bullish on the Qs. Okay, Netflix has that sharp pullback from 456 to 450, so that could bring some stuff down. Apple going back to 193 though, finding a low at 192. Nvidia pulling back off 465 to 455. That's a decent sized pullback there. Wish we could have got in on that. Wasn't really anything to suggest that it would pull back at 465. Might have been this that gave it away right here. This little stall out acted as a resistance. Tesla, let's get moving under 289. Let's see if we can do it. There we go, new low, 288.66 now. Contracts are still trading for the same price because we wasted a good 30 minutes trading back and forth. Yeah, these contracts are losing value pretty quick. Either it's the demand that's drying up for them because we're moving so slow, or they're getting decayed with this 30 minutes of trading flat. 286. Let's see. This candle went from 286.63 to 290.19. $3.50. Sometimes the middle of a large candle like this will act as a support. So we'll see. 1.7 plus 286.63. So support might be at 288.30. Not too far, about 50 cents off that. Yeah, looks like we got the new low. Testing that support at about 288.30. Let's see where the pre-market was. Low for the open market was 286. Low for the pre-market 280. Well, I guess you would take this one at 282. But after that, it was down to 285.84. It's about $3 we could see a pullback. I think the delta on these is really bad, though, since they're so far out of the money. We only have a negative 21 delta, so we only make like $60 if it pulls back to 286, 285. And the theta for it is 91. So you're losing almost $1 a day or $100 a day from time decay for this option. All right, down to 287.50. Still off of the lows from this morning at 286. But getting there pretty quickly on this candle. Looks like the whole market's, well, Amazon is pulling back with this too. Meta pulling back. There's something that's not pulling back. Looks like Google not pulling back here. Nvidia not that bad. Apple not that bad. And Netflix is pretty rough. Looks like we caught a low at 286.60. So right above, and I think that's close to the open. Yeah, open this morning was 286.63, so that might be your support for right now. Looks like Amazon might have some momentum to the downside too. 37 for the RSI. Bouncing right after it went oversold. But it could go back to oversold here. Looks like demand might be building for the 270 put now. Trading at 365 even though we didn't get that drop like we did before. Okay. The VIX is actually up, which is pretty usual for Mondays. For some reason, the VIX will usually have a pop. Today it went from 1333 to 14, the high in the pre-market, but down to the middle at 1366. IWM is still doing well today, up 0.8, 0.9 almost. Q's up 0.35 at 380.5. Let's see, that was a strange candle. Yeah, finding support right under the 380 a couple times with these 5-minute candle wicks. SPY still trading at 450. 10 years currently positive 0.1 at 3.8, which is somewhat high. It isn't the 4% that we were seeing before, so that's actually good for stocks right now to see that little drop. And then the dollar index is under 100 right now for the Dixie, so that should support the move up with those two being down. Looks like people are finally buying the 270 puts. Okay. Q is still sitting over 380. But yeah, I think, like I said, we're just going to get back and forth at 380. And right now it's acting as a support, but I think we're probably just going to be trading around that level, since we have a few names in the red, a few names in the green. Right now, my Tesla call is up a mere $15, 5%. Still wanted to see this at 286. And it looks like we have some volume going into the sell-off. It's at 45 on the RSI. But that will be a support right down below, with the open, the pre-market lows. Okay. Puts are going for 380. And it looks like we just caught a support at 287.15. So just at that 287 mark right now. But very close to it, to where we might break through. Yep, that was our support at 287 right there. Trading at 50 RSI, so going back to neutral. So might chop around before the next move, either to 290 or under 286. Still a lot of volume for the 290 calls compared to the 292 and a halves and 295s. Up until you get to the 300, that's where the max volume in open interest is. First class passengers. Gate 39E. I gotta love the back and forth turbulence. Amazon's actually going up a little bit higher. Maybe actually finding its low. Looks like we had a higher low, higher high for a possible pivot at 133. The 133 puts were pretty popular 4,000 open interest, 4,600 for the 132. So there's not a drop in open interest until you get... there's actually a decent amount of open interest across the board. Until you get all the way down to 123. But those are way too far out of the money. The volume drops at 128 to 127. Maybe the 128, 129 too. So it'll be interesting if we saw Amazon at 130 by the end of the week. But right now, it does look like it's having a start to an uptrend. Tesla retesting the lows at 287. Once again. All right, and right under 287. Contracts are going for 4 now. So about 10% profit for this trade on it. All right, it's still under 287, so this is good. That it's sticking below it. Right at the previous lows. Q's still sitting above 380 at 380 and a half, so just chopping back and forth between 380 381. Amazon just went back in the green surprisingly there. Yeah, I would say this is a strong downtrend for Tesla. Just don't know where it would pop back off. Let's see if the puts will give us any clue. 285 to 282 and a half. There's a decent drop volume, more than 50%. Open interest only drops by 1,000, so Not too promising. The 280 is pretty popular with 9,000 volume to keep us going. And then the drops down under that. Even the 275 isn't very popular. So either it pivots at 285, I'm thinking, or 280. $285 should give us a little bit more profit. Let's see, it's trading at $287 right now, so $2 of delta. That would be another 50. We would sell this for $440, $450. And then if it drops all the way down to $280, $7, that would be 24 times 7. Another 168, putting these probably at 600-ish. Amazon pulling back again, 134. That was a decent pullback at 134.60. Very quick too. That whole candle got reversed. $288 for Tesla, so we're recovering a little bit from $286.50 at the low. Just very slow moves across the board. $4 for Tesla. About 1% move over the course of an hour trading. Netflix is trying to take the lead. This one actually has more recovery to it. More volatility to it too. 456 to 448 and back to 452. So you're actually seeing some decent moves in Netflix. Okay. Still got that put on Tesla at 270 for this week. Trading at 370 for the bid. Up $10, not much. Not doing much at all. Hopefully it doesn't just keep on wasting time and chopping back and forth like it did that first 30 minutes trading. But yeah, that's probably all the trades for today. The Tesla put, still got the Amazon puts. Amazon pulling back to 134. Those trades are down since I opened them a few days ago. 9%, $28. But I think we could have a decent pullback to under 133, and there's, like I said, a lot of volume for puts here, all the way down until you get to like under 130. So there could be a decent sized pullback on Amazon by the end of the week, I'm thinking, as long as we stay below where we're trading right now. It looks like, because there is a lot of calls at the 135 strike that could place some pressure to the upside. So we got to stay under 135 to be bearish. And Tesla earnings really could drive this either way. But let's see. The most popular strike price on puts right now is 270. 33,000 in volume. Nothing really comparing to that for puts. Even at the 250 strike price, not a lot of volume there. So everybody's buying the 270s for right now. And for the calls, they're getting in on the 290s in similar volume. And then again, that 300 strike price, extremely popular. That's the most popular call option. So looks like the bears are a bit more bearish than the bulls are bullish for this week. More volume in the 300 calls, and it's a little bit closer. Pricier, $700 versus the $375 you're paying for the 270. So the bulls are feeling it for earnings this week, but still think that Tesla's going to have a worse than expected earnings in terms of earnings per share. Revenue could be higher, just given that they are driving more volume in sales due to their price drops. But that is going to weigh negatively on their margins, which I don't think Wall Street is going to like. Do I think PayPal is undervalued? PYPL? Do I think it could go to 100 plus? And that's the 52-week high. It's trading at 72 right now, so it would have to go up 30 or about like 40%. Long term, maybe, yeah. Let's see. Their earnings is scheduled a couple weeks out, 8-2. They really dropped heavily after their last earnings. So if they post a decent earnings this quarter, they might actually get a decent rally, maybe to 75 plus. But right now they're trading at 73, so. PayPal, I mean, it's a good business. I just think that person-to-person payment is kind of an overcrowded space. But PayPal does have a large share of that, so I just don't see their revenue and earnings seeing too much growth, and that's kind of reflected in their earnings per share for the past 2 years. It hasn't really moved much. 122 to 117, so fundamentally it's not a growth company anymore. But that doesn't mean that it can't get back to trading where it was at 100 a few quarters ago. Let's see. Yeah. I just don't think the stock is going to reach all-time highs at 300 and probably. Because their earnings has just been doing a whole lot of nothing since 2020, it seems like. So unless they're able to capitalize on another part of their business, then probably not the best investment. Look at the 30-day chart for PayPal. Let's see. 20-day 1 hour. Yeah, it's definitely looking bullish here. Trading at 60 for the RSI, so very hot. Pulling back from almost being overbought. Let's see where the options lie for PayPal. Looks like Tesla just went under 287 right now. Trading at 286 now. Right under that low. But yeah, PayPal. Options are saying that could go to 75 this week. Lots of open interest and volume there, but that does drop pretty steep. So that could be a pivot. And then to the downside on the puts, it's really not a lot of volume on puts at all. Only in the hundreds, 200, 500, 200. Open interest is pretty low. I wouldn't expect a pivot back to the upside based on the puts. But yeah, I think 75 would be the mark I would look for this week on PayPal if it's able to get up to that. All right, here we go with Tesla, 286, 285.99. So nice little small pullback. Dropping off of 288 to 286. Contracts are going for 420. Nice little 60 profit so far on the trade. I think I'll probably take it. At 425 maybe. Oh no, they just changed the ask price on me. There we go. All right, out at 425. Took profit. I cannot spell. $270 put. At 425. Probably could get more out of the trade, but don't want to risk the reversal at 285 again. That would be where I think it might pivot. If not, then the 280 level would be a stronger support based on the options chain right now. But yeah, now we wait on Amazon to hopefully drop or go above 1 at 35 so we can cut profit or cut losses. And that'll be the trading for the day. So that's all for me, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow at 9:30. See you, everybody.